Welcome into this lesson concerning the paradiddle in the form of a funk groove. And by the end of this lesson, you're going to know how to take simple accented notes with unaccented notes, singles and doubles, and put them together to form more interesting funk and groove patterns. Remember to like and subscribe so that you can find us again next Tuesday. I've taught over 1,000 drum lessons to people just like you, and I can show you too. I'm Gabriel, and you are watching Drum Tip Tuesday. All right, let's get into this thing. We're going to take first the paradiddle-diddle. Yes, and I said paradiddle-diddle because the paradiddle-diddle is really what's in this groove and makes it cool. I called it a paradiddle funk groove because if I call it the paradiddle-diddle funk groove, YouTube's algorithm doesn't like that, and we wouldn't be together right now, you and I. You would never have found this video. You got to make a thumbnail a certain way, got to call it a certain thing. It doesn't matter. Combinations of accented notes, unaccented notes, singles and doubles, paradiddles, inside paradiddles, paradiddle-diddles, double paradiddles, all of that jive. It's all together, all right? We're just going to take an exercise for a paradiddle-diddle and use it to help us work on our upstrokes, downstrokes, and tap strokes. Actually, the sequence is going to be down, tap, up, down, tap, up. And let's play that with the right hand, all right? Down, tap, up. All right, let's play that on the left hand. Down, tap, up, down, tap, up, down, tap, up, down, tap, up. All right, let's do it on the right, then on the left. 4 here, 4 here. Let's go back and forth a couple times. All right. Now then, let's assign a rhythm to it that is actually the right hand pulled out of a paradiddle-diddle. It's still going to be down, tap, up, but in this rhythm. Down, tap, up, down, tap, up, down, tap, up. Right? Off the left. Down, tap, up, down, tap, up, down, tap, up. Go back and forth a couple of times here. Just do 4 of those on this hand, 4 of those on this hand. And you notice when I switch hands, it's kind of weird because the last up is actually just another tap. It just keeps it clean when you practice snare drum that way. That's all I'm doing. All right, here. Little down, tap, up in a certain rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, in that way. You say, what are you talking about? How's that a paradiddle-diddle? Well, if you take this pattern and you fill in with the left hand, right, paradiddle-diddle. Paradiddle-diddle, paradiddle-diddle. Let's play that a couple times. 1, 2, off the right. 4. Again. Off the left. One more time. So if we have a paradiddle-diddle and something that we're working on, warm up with it, be creative with it. right? Use it to enhance all forms of your drumming. Now, let's get into how we're going to put this on the drums. This groove has 3 different parts, right? Not a big deal. The paradiddle-diddle's in it. It's the main key element. Think it always shows up in the same way? Yeah, it always starts on the same beat. Always a paradiddle-diddle. The thing about this is that the right hand is going to move all over the drums here. I have a 5-piece kit, 1 up, 2 down. It doesn't matter, you can voice this thing however. That's why I put these variations in there, just so you can see me do different things with it. Speaking of which, there is a core groove to it. I'm going to describe that right now on the screen. Boom, there it is. You can see you have the kick drum on beat 1, and then you have your paradiddle-diddle, all right? Starts on the E of 1. Right, left, left, left. The left hand, okay, is always on the snare drum. We're just gonna put that out there right now. You're never moving your left hand. I don't even think, yeah, it does accent on the snare drum sometimes, but, and it's always on beat 4 on all the variations. So you don't have to worry about that. Left hand always on the snare drum. The right hand is going to move around, and it moves around first to the first tom. Paradiddle, right, on the first diddle is on the first tom. That's from the E of 1 to the downbeat of 2. And in the paradiddle-diddle, you can see the left hand's on the snare drum, then the right hand accents on the snare drum in the of 2. And most importantly here, most important part of this key groove that we're going to do is the hi-hat on the end of 4. And we're going to use a sort of theme and variation, and that hi-hat on the end of 4 always tells us that we just played the first bar. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's just go take this first example or first manifestation of the paradiddle-diddle groove at 3 different tempos, just like this. First variation of this groove. It's going to be exactly the same until beat 4. And what's going to happen on the beat 4 is that we're going to take the right hand and put it on the floor tom on the end of 4. Now let's listen to that. second variation. All right? We're going to have this cool sort of walk down the toms. Not going to bring the right hand back to play the snare drum, right? No. Not going to bring the right hand back to play the snare drum. Instead, where the right hand has been on the snare drum on a backbeat or sort of supplemental backbeat on the of beat 2, it's now going to be on the floor tom. So the diddle on the first tom, where the right hand has been coming back to the snare drum on the of 2, that's going to be on the floor tom, and now on the second floor tom, or just third tom, however you're doing this, third tom, you're going to have the E, right? Sorry, the of beat 3. Yes? Da-dum, dum, da-dum, right? Very cool. Let's check it out. But before we go on, comment below, what's your favorite groove rudiment? I'm partial to the paradiddle-diddle. We've been working on a lot of paradiddles here. I think you might know that mine's the favorite. My favorite is the paradiddle-diddle. Let me know, actually, if there's someone out there who knows a great groove pattern with the double flam mill. That might be nice. Anyways, doesn't matter. Your favorite groove rudiment, comment below. Putting it all together. I'm going to put it all together in a very specific way right now, all right? But when you play this thing, try this first, but then make up your own. The important part is that you use this opportunity playing a paradiddle-diddle in a pattern to work on your hands a little bit. That's one lesson in what we're doing today. The next one is theme and variation. It's musical form. You play something, play a groove. This thing, that. Play that, then play a variation, whatever variation. Play that again, play another variation. You now have a 2-bar phrase out of this thing instead of just this sort of monotone thing going ad infinitum, just to the end, right? I couldn't really think of the word I wanted to use there. That's all right. When you do a specific second and specific 4th bar in your pattern, you now have a 4-bar pattern. And that's what I'm going to play for you right now. I'm going to play that core groove, then going to play variation 1. Back to the core, variation 2, and so on. If you want to develop superior hand technique, make sure to click the link below this video to get Hands, my free ebook that contains the 3 best exercises for developing clean, fast drum technique. And as always, remember to like, subscribe, and watch one of these videos next.